just got tougher, with updated filtering algorithms and a cracked.
What's going on, everybody? We're going to play a little bit of music while we get some people that feed into the space. So I hope you enjoy the music. I don't mind when we're too close. You on time, if place we go. I don't mind. I don't mind. Even my friends say it's just for money all day. But I know she loves it when I say it's okay. I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't really mind if you wanna try something new. I hear you want the bag now, be in the game now. All you want is something to do. I know there's nothing I can say to this. How the hell I was down for this? But now it's only me and you and a kiss. So let me see it, baby. I just gotta find it, baby. You might get asleep. If you don't fit it, baby, you know what you gotta do. Worry about the consequences. You don't gotta spread it, just think about the life you gotta live. Even my friends say it's just for money all day. But I know she loves it when I say it's okay. I don't mind. I don't mind. I don't mind when we're too close. You on time, the place we go. I don't mind. I don't mind. Even my friends say it's just for me all day. All right, everybody, let's get started. So before we get going, thanks everybody for joining. If everyone could go on up to the very top part of the space, you will see the link to the spaces. If you could hit that like and retweet button, it would be greatly appreciated. Get some more people in here into the space. We've got a lot to talk about. There have been some big things that have been happening with Kaito. There have been some pretty crazy events happening with crypto Twitter in general, which has been really, I mean, it's never a dull moment. I don't know when the weekend turned into the most exciting time for crypto, but I guess that's what's happening this cycle. So let's get right into it. But before we do, let's check on in with my very handsome co-host, Walls. Walls, how is it going? How's your yaps?
Hey, guys! I'm super excited to be here. We just tons of emotions. I'm really happy, really grateful for everything. My apps have been doing well. We'll be discussing that as well today. It's been a roller coaster of emotions, to say the least. And I guess I'll be able to share some more insights with you all today.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy. So I guess we can just dive right into the very first topic. The shadow bans that Kaito has implemented for engagement farmers. So this is something that they put into place. I think, they were saying, I think that they probably do a pretty good job with filtering out content that are just engagement farms. But the community were saying, hey, you know what, we think people are getting yaps for engagement farms, we'd like you to do something about it. So it seems like they've put into place some more stringent strategies in place to keep that from happening. So I don't think I haven't really noticed any difference on my account. I think, yeah, I had one post over the weekend where it was like my best day yet. I think I got like 80 yaps, a little over 80 yaps. I got like 65,000 impressions on a post. Literally all it was just like some ridiculous napkin math about how much I think that yaps could be worth. But it was some of it was okay. There are, if, even for a full year, if they keep up the rate of yap distribution, there will only be 9,125,000 yaps distributed. And if you think about token supply, like That's really not that much. So, yeah, but that ended up getting a bunch of yaps. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, at least for me, man, I really haven't noticed too much of a difference. Walls, maybe if you want to chime in on this.
Yeah. So personally, I did adjust my strategy. So last spaces, I did tell you all about how great engagement farming is, just for the sake of engagement farming. You know, you're not getting any yaps, and I told you all, everyone before that. But I still liked it as a tool to connect with people, to make the content more fun, and everything in between. You know, everyone likes a little bit of that fun engagement farming component. But now with the news, we got to be extra careful. I think honestly what the reason behind this all was the reply thing that tons of people actually thought actually like works for some reason. I have no idea why some people would think it works. I've always used it just to, like, once again, to engagement bait and to say, like, yeah, like it's not the articles that I've been writing about they've been getting me yabs, but the reply thing. And some people actually took it seriously. Maybe this was one of the reasons they decided to kind of go heavier on this shadow banning thing. Mm, and I did notice a decrease of my yaps right after they have announced that. Although I I tried to change my strategy. I eliminated most of my engagement baits whatsoever. So I even stopped writing GMs and GNs because who knows? Maybe they thought a GM post is an engagement bait, And so I just tried to just produce as much quality content as possible, and I was getting lower and lower yaps, and I was like, what's going on? What's happening? So yeah, I whined a little bit on social media, got some nice engagement. The founder also replied that, man, you're not engaging. I'm sorry, you're not shadow banned. Like, everything is good. And then all of a sudden, I've started getting those yaps again. So whether it was the magical touch of the founder, or just the algorithms being sometimes slow, we have discussed that actually, that there might be a little bit of a delay within your post and your yaps up to like 24 hours. So that might be the reason why. But yeah, back on track, experimenting with my content as much as ever, just because we gotta adapt, we gotta keep pushing. And yeah, we have tons of things to discuss. There's literally different strategies you can use in your Kaito farming. Whether you're aiming for yaps, whether you're targeting the mind share to get some airdrop, whether you want to just connect with people. Kaido is allowing you to do all these things simultaneously, but also you can choose your vertical you want to push. We have a lot of hands raised. Smokey, I guess you'll be the one to choose.
Awesome, man. Yeah. Well, good to know that you got knighted personally by the founder of Kaito, and he turned on the Yap faucet himself. He like pushed the button. There was like the walls button like off and on. He's like, all right, we'll turn it back on. He's kind of toning it down on the reply good morning post. So no, but you know what? I think there definitely is a delay, like a 24-hour delay. If you actually look through the docs, like it kind of talks about some of that. There's a really good thread on it. I'll try to find it. I know I messaged it to you, Walls. If you want to find that thread and put it up, into the top of the space, that would be great so people can read about that. But I think the first person that had their hand up was Zek. Zek, what's going on? How are you doing?
Meow. Meow. Don't get confused with Zach. That's his way of expressing himself. Like, this is like normal to him. So don't get hard on Zach. Like, this is his trademark actually. And if you know Zach, every spaces he doing meow and things like that. So yeah, little introduction to Zach.
Love it. It's his personal brand. Amazing. He's
Yep.
building it.
Well, maybe it was just a language I didn't understand. That's okay. But great to meet you, Zach. Thank you for your important contribution to the space. I hope everybody in the audience learned a lot from that. And we'll throw it on over to Mad Vincent.
First of all, thank you for having me on Spaces. It's first time I'm joining you guys, and I'm really happy that you have me here. And I'm looking forward to participate more in the future on Kaito Spaces that you are making. The last one was absolute blast, and this is the reason why I asked you if it's okay to join you and talk a little bit more about Kaito and Yaps and what is all about. And I just want to go quick recap on Shadowban that you mentioned, and it started to work like 24 48 hours ago, right? And why is that implemented? The reason for Shadowban implementation and for boost of their algorithm and how they distribute apps is simple. Timeline started to get out of the hand. Like as you mentioned, reply meta start to work, and farmers jump in, and people start abusing the system. And they have their system already built, and they can adjust their algorithm with one click. And this is the beauty of the game, because they can adjust as platform grow and as we have more users on a platform. And the end goal of Kaito is to have organic users, to have a casual conversation, not to have like farmers who will be here only for yaps and only for that. And this is the beauty of the platform that they build. And another reason why they did a shadow ban is the accounts on Twitter last few days or maybe few weeks become a Kaito yapping machines. And what that means, whenever I go to someone account, I see they only talk about Kaito. And for me, as a user who using Twitter 24/7, is something that I don't want to see. I don't want to see inorganic interaction. I don't want to see forced interaction. I would like to have normal conversation with people, like to keep what we are doing. Like no matter if you're shit poster, meme lord, thread writer, ghost writer, or whatever. Like the whole point of the system is like to be organic. And if they manage to find a way and perfect equilibrium how they can do it, they're going to make it, and they're going to make really amazing app that everyone will benefit from. Product, teams that they are partner with, and we as an end users. And this is the beauty of this update of their algorithm and how they distribute points. So this is my what I noticed in last 24 to 48 hours, and my timeline starts to be much better, and it starts to look much better and more organic, and I think they nailed that down. So this is my takeaway on Shadowban and how it works. I can go down, I can dive deeper if you want how Shadowban work, but I guess everyone know, like if you are Shadowban at like me for example, who is Shadowban more than people have posts here, they will know and understand how Shadowban works. So they just put their algo same as Twitter, but on steroids, like 5 times harder, 5 times tougher, and this is how it works.
Well, it's good. Timeline is getting cleaned up. Nice to see. It actually, kind of encouraged me to, vary up my content a little bit. Definitely, I think I was one of those people just talking about Kaito all the time. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out like a good middle ground. Since I do work for a blockchain, I'm not really going to go around bull posting other projects too much. You know what I mean? But there's certain communities that I'm in. I've got a bean. I've got a little pudgy. So it's like there's certain things I feel comfortable talking about. But I think it's good if they provide these updates that end up pushing people to make better content. I don't think that that's a bad thing. So it's nice to see them making these changes. And being responsive to the community. I think that that's something that's super important. But before we get to the hands, I do want to throw it on over to a legend that we have up in the space. We've got Demon up here who's been absolutely crushing it with the Yap game. What is going on, Demon? Do you have any insight or growth strategies you'd like to share with the audience?
What's good, Smokey? I love this space. You're absolutely crushing it. And yeah, guys, welcome to the space. If you're not, I mean, if you were not here in the last space, he absolutely sent that space, full sent it. And yeah, bottom right, likes and retweets, drop a comment, doesn't cost you anything. But with that being said, yeah, bro, it's been fun, like trying different things on Kaido, like one thing you were saying is like, oh, we can just talk about different things that are listed there. I mean, one thing I've tested is like different types of content, like you were saying, and like seeing like what does it yield anything or does it not. And I think I've seen like even if you're not posting about the stuff on the leaderboard, you still get yaps, but not as much. As long as it's about crypto, you still get a somewhat something like it's still a little bit. So like that's interesting to watch. And also like the way I've seen it, like most of the stuff on the leaderboard, like I think it's like a multiplier where it's like whenever you're posting about those things, you are getting way more than anything else. Like it's just been like when I did that the IP one, the story protocol, that just absolutely blew up. I think I got like 30 apps in from that just one post. And yeah, so it's like it comes down to testing different types of content and just seeing like what works. And it's not like, oh, reply blah blah. Yeah, I seen that too, bro. Like that shit was fucking annoying because a lot of people were fucking just like, oh, reply, and they were getting it. Like they were actually gaming the system with that reply shit. And I was like, bro, no fucking way that this is working. And yeah, that was fucking like horrible to watch. Like, yo, these guys are gaming the system. But yeah, they fixed it in a day, and we're back on track. And I think one of the other things I also wanted to say, like a lot of people don't really pay attention. It's like, oh, how much is one yap gonna be? $100 or whatever, right? But the bigger play is all these different things that are being listed there. They're all giving airdrops, like every single one. And so far, we have gotten like multiple already. And that's also a bigger play, and that that compounds because every week we're seeing new things being added. So like it that just builds on its own, and you will always have that regardless of what happens with this platform. So yeah, looking forward to how this plays out.
Love it, man. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see. They're making these updates. I mean, I think that that is something that maybe is slept on a little bit. Obviously, I think people are catching on, but getting onto these top mindshare leaderboards, like yaps are great, right? Yeah, we're sure we're going to get something from that. But diving into some of these projects and being able to get onto the leaderboard as one of, with the top mindshare, like I think, the Azuki, like, what was it, the top 10 ended up getting $6,000 worth of anime coin. Like that's pretty serious, and they're earning yaps at the same time. It did seem like there was a significant drop off after top 10. I think it went from like $6,000 to $300. Walls, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Sorry, I missed out. What are we talking about?
The anime the anime coin
Oh
airdrop.
yeah.
It seemed like the top 10 got like 6 grand, and then there was like a steep drop off where anybody the right after that it was like 300
For
bucks.
sure. Wow. That I mean, honestly, that is surprising. I would expect for just tiers to happen organically, and it is motivational. First of all, for everyone to compete for mindshare, etc. Like it makes sense, but such tiers don't make sense to me, to be honest. So what is it? 20 times difference between the top 10 and the, and let's say top 11, right? And it goes, I guess, to top 50. So top 10 got 6,000, and then next 40 people got $300. I was in that tier. I mean, I was excited when I got my $300. It was at night, and then yeah, like I claimed, I was happy until I woke up and I saw the top 10 got 6,000. And then that's how it works. Like crypto. Yeah, you always have the FOMO, no matter how much free money you got. So yes, if I were to suggest them a different implementation of this rewarding system, I would honestly go linear, at least for a certain amount of top, let's say 50 users or 100 users. So if you're top one, you're getting more money than top two. Those guys also have competition. Like me and Smokey have been pushing each other around on the mindshare for 7 days, and I got pushed by Smokey, by literally everyone now. So yeah, I'm a bit behind on the 7 day for mindshare for Kaito, but yeah, I've been kind of hunting the other ones as well, and I do see this healthy competition happening if people know that it's kind of linear. Otherwise, it just kind of sounds unfair for the 11th guy. I was kind of close to the top 10 actually on anime. So yeah, it wasn't pleasing. to here in the next day. Also, yeah, there's been actually two airdrops, right, to Kaito Yappers now. First one was Bear Chain, and the second one was Anime. And I believe for Bear Chain, it was also kind of a bit unfair because I was a top 10 Yapper actually by mindshare. I've been yapping about Bear Chain for a while. Like ever since I joined, I was obviously bullish on them, and I started yapping. I've been yapping for like a month, and then after the airdrop happened, they're like, "Oh, actually, we did a yap shot." And a lot of people who've been in this mind share are actually not included just because you didn't tweet about us before. I don't find this transparent and fair for other participants, to be honest, because I think if a project is listed on the pre-TGE mindshare map, users are obviously incentivized to tweet about them more, to act based on them being there, right? And then when you've been pushing some projects for a month, and then they tell you, actually, no, you're not eligible. That's kind of iffy. So yeah, I am really bullish on the upcoming airdrops happening because honestly, it does induce FOMO. Every single free money event always leads to more participants for the future events, more FOMO, more registrations, and more users just trying to get that piece of the pie. So it's going to get much more competitive, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's some good feedback, right, for some other chains that are going to do airdrops in the future based on Kaito leaderboards. It's like, hey, let your community know, like, hey, there's going to be a snapshot on this date, and we're going to take, maybe not even letting them know, like, it's going to be the top 100 or top 500 or whatever, but at least letting people know, hey, there's going to be a snapshot on this date that we'll take from. I think that is, just a good way to inform the community. Is let them know, like, so they don't feel like duped, right? Where it's like, oh, well, I was doing it for this month and I got to like almost the top 10 and I didn't get anything. It's like, well, that's not a great feeling for sure, But we do got some hands up in the room, so let's get on over to whatever man. What's going on?
Yo, Jim. Yeah, so good discussion. I just want to provide another perspective here. Don't burn the fuck out because that's what happens with leaderboards. Typically, people start to become the grinder, which is totally fine, right? Totally fine. We've done it in the past. We used to grind for whitelists, being in fucking discords in 2021 and all that shit. Like we've all done it. It is where it is. But it is very unhealthy. And the more you think you're gonna get money, and if we're talking about the difference between $300 and $6,000, obviously, the greed is coming into play. Now you just think, oh man, let me write about fucking Monad and then Mega ETH and Story and Quai and OG. You're going to fuck yourself. You're literally going to fuck yourself because you can't have your feet in everything. If you think that that's possible, you're a fucking idiot. Because some of the most successful people, even on this platform, they're like a master of a niche. Either they're mega influential, so they have a fuck ton of followers, and their smart followers is like in the 2000s. Okay. So anything they write about, they get all this kind of engagement, people replying to them. They're not using engagement chats and all this bullshit, right? They're just very influential people. Like, just go look at the leaderboards, or they've become masters of some shit. So hone into an actual niche. Um, so I'll give you an example. So OG Protocol, that's pretty much a really cool sounding one, all about AI and stuff. So if you're somebody that's loving AI and you understand it, go all in on that shit. Trust me, go all in on that. And they just announced yesterday that, oh, top 100 leaderboard is going to get whatever airdrop. Okay. So if you think that the OG airdrop is going to be worth it, it kind of maybe begs the question, like, okay, maybe you should actually focus on that, put out really quality content, educate some people, network with new people, and then maybe if you land in the top 100, you have a chance of getting a desired result or whatever. But if you do OG and then you're doing Kai and then you're doing Paradex and then Mega ETH, eventually most of your content is either going to be copy pasta or is going to be complete ass. You haven't made any networks, you haven't connected with anyone, and Kaito will pick up these things. And that's why sometimes, some days, you literally get 5 yaps, and then other days your content hits and slaps and you get 20 yaps. The difference is on some days the algorithm is picking up on the actual value that you're putting on out there, and other times they're actually picking up on the fact that you're actually connecting, networking, growing, and all these kind of things. So the other part that I really want to focus on too is, don't just think that it's just the pre TGE that is going to help you. Okay, so I'll give you an example from personally speaking, okay? Since they announced the Pengu airdrop, I went all in on that because for me, I found that very easy. Why? Because it's super fucking wholesome, right? Yes, there's a bias here because I'm a stupid pudgy penguin and all that shit, but I'm also an Azuki. I have beans as well, but I don't bang on about anime because it's anime is even a bigger niche, and it really takes a little bit of time to really dial in on that. But why Pengu was so easy is because there's millions of fucking gifs that I could just spam just to illustrate an emotion that I'm feeling, and it worked. It worked really well. It worked really, really well. The yesterday or something, I was top 3 in the mind share, and I wasn't even competing to be on that mind share. Somebody just pointed out to me, they're like, "Yo, what the fuck? You just joined, Little Pudgies recently. How the fuck are you top 3 mind share in Pudgies?" And I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't realize. I was just having fun, straight up. I was literally just having fun." But the reason I'm telling you that story is because think about it this way. Let's say I didn't do Pudgies, but I was doing the same shit for anime. So you take somebody like Sansa as an example. Most of Sansa's his content is all anime. So obviously when we're talking about like the difference between, a $6,000 airdrop from Kaito to a $300 airdrop, somebody like Sansa deserves that shit because this guy puts in fucking hours and hours and hours of just Azuki and animated content. So you really have to understand your niche and play within that niche. And the more you play within that niche, you're going to realize your brand growing, your following growing, and even earning the yaps. But the one I think this is the last point that I really want to make is there's a competition for the attention. That's what it is. Everyone is competing for that attention. They want your attention. And it's actually dangerous if you think about it, right? Every little protocol, hey, use our referral link, go get more followers, shill this to your fans, and we want more super fans. The game of marketing is changing, and Kaido is literally showing you that, and that's why Kaido's NFT is at 8 ETH or some shit, because the whole, like, we're not relying on just threads going viral for marketing anymore. Now they're going to these KOLs and being like, okay, so what's your Yap numbers? And they're going to look at that stuff. So it's in your best interest to use this as a networking platform. Understand this as a growth platform. Develop yourself, build a bigger, deeper network, and those interpersonal relationships. I swear to God that the yaps will just come. But the more you focus on your fucking yaps, you're gonna burn the fuck out and you're gonna want to just leave this space. I'm telling you from like an older dude. I'm telling you this will happen. So if you're young like Walls, yes, you can grind this like every fucking day in, day out, like all these, yeah, straight up. But I'm literally like double his age. So I'm telling you right now, if you're like an old man like me, you will burn the fuck out. So try not to burn out, guys.
And I would like to add, you already know how Twitter game work. You already know what is brand. You already know how to create content. You already know what is niche. 99% of people in crypto don't know what means to find your niche. And to find your niche, it means to connect with people who share the same thoughts, who like the same projects, who vibe with you at the end of the day. And with that being said, this is the crucial part, as you mentioned, for growing on the Kyoto and on Twitter. Like you need to focus on few projects. You cannot cover every project. Like as you said, Sansa is covering Azuki, uh, Mad Vincent covering Mad Lads, Smokey covering Pudgy Penguins. Like like you have people who are connected with each other, and why they are successful. They're successful because they having their crew, they're having their community behind them, and this is how you grow. This is how you find your niche. And this is my biggest advice of this space: like find a few projects that you will focus, that you will grow with, and try to connect with community, and you will grow with them, you will grow with the project, and at the end of the day you will earn yaps. And as we see the emerging number of projects coming to Kaito, we are not going to cover every project. We will not be able to cover every project. So the best way will be to stick with few projects, pick 2 or 3 projects, pick what you know best, what is your expertise in crypto, and do your best, and you will see the result of your work.
Amazing. Yeah. I agree with all of you. Like, tons of literally alpha being said here. Don't spread too thin, guys. It is dangerous. You're gonna lose focus. You're gonna get tired. You're gonna get worn out. And the main thing is definitely when you find your niche. As Vincent mentioned, you do find your community as well. Like if you like, let's say you choose let's say Story Protocol, right? And you continue just tweeting about Story Protocol, the algorithm will continue pushing your content to the Story Protocol community, meaning it will get more views, it will get more attention, and you're going to be more expert in that niche, right? You're going to continue writing different. First of all, you're going to get deeper and deeper into the ecosystem. Once again, you're going to connect with more people, and you're not going to get worn out as well, because running after 20 different protocols, yeah, you're not killing any bird with any stones, guys. That's for sure. And not being worn out, it is alpha. This is a marathon. It is not a sprint. We don't even know the TGE when it is. Smokey is here counting a year from now. Could you guys imagine if we're here to to grind for another year? That'd be crazy. So I mean, some people are speculating like March, which I would honestly love. Like, because yeah, a year would honestly would be even healthy in some way, right? We will get worn out, obviously. People will just start posting natural content uh, as time goes on, just because you can't like literally farm something like this for too long. You will get worn out 100%. So yeah, what I would really recommend you guys is before choosing the project you want to focus on, do some research. Just check them all out, and see which one actually resonates with you first. What actually interests you in this space? That is the first thing. And the second thing would be community. This is alpha, guys. Try to look at community in these projects. If it's a ghost town, you tweeting about it, and just like you and other yappers tweeting about it, it's not going to catch traction at TGE, at like post TGE, right? The token won't have any sustainability since there is no community. And like when looking at the pre-TGE leaderboards, honestly, I do see some obvious winners. The two winners, in my opinion, are Eclipse and Story Protocol right now. I see the biggest community sentiment in these two. I haven't focused on Eclipse at all, but I do see like if you open the leaderboard, just scroll through the top 100 yappers. Notice one thing: the more like 80 or 90% of them have the same PFP. You know what that means? It is a very active community. These guys, like you're in the right place. If they have the same PFP, they're united by the same goal, that means the sentiment is strong. And the story thing, like you've seen the flower, right? Everywhere, the IP flower thing. People had it in their names before. I didn't even know what it is about until Kaito announced that Story Protocol is coming in, and I'm like, oh, that's what this flower is. I've seen about like everywhere on Twitter. So once again, I could tell some of these projects are much harder to actually get on top of the mindshare map, but it might be much more worth it to actually do so compared to others, although it might be like 10 times harder. So yeah, I did identify Story and Eclipse as the ones that are like the highest community filled basically. And I did notice that getting on top of those mindshare leaderboards is already getting hard, and it's going to get only more competitive.
Love it. Yeah, I mean, I think something to think about is like it's not just about Yaps, right? And there's going to come a time when there's TGE for Kaito and these other projects, you're still going to be able to continue to get rewards. Like, obviously, yeah, I'm sure you'll still be able to accrue Yaps, but the mystery will be there. It won't be a mystery any longer, like how much they're worth, right? But then, there's going to be new projects that are going to be able to come up and offer rewards in their token, either pre TGE or post TGE, for creating content around that project. But I do want to get on over to some of these hands. I don't know how to pronounce your name. You've got the bean, FDVCI. How do you pronounce that?
Yo, what's up? Do you hear me?
Loud and
Yep.
clear.
Nice. It's my initials. You can just call me Fair. It's fine. Yeah, no, I want to get onto obviously Kaito and a lot of people talking about Yap jail and stuff. It's fucking obvious, right? Because everyone is responding essentially with LFG. Let's fucking go. Nice one. Very very like cliche answers, and I'm like, yeah, obviously you're gonna get fucking banned. Like, what the fuck? Like, you have to treat Kaito as a engagement tool. You can like find people to engage with. You can find projects. You can find all types of people, all types of content. You can curate content. So just use that for Kaito instead of like a Yap farm, because you're gonna get burnt out anyways. So yeah, that's what I wanted to add. Big up Smokey and Wells.
Awesome. Thanks for coming up, man. Yeah, I think it's super important to try to put out engaging content, but also you hit on a good point, right? When you're responding to people and getting into their replies, reply with something meaningful. I see it all the time, like somebody will reply one time to my post and they'll be like, nice one. And then the very next post, they'll be like, hey, why don't you follow me back? I'm like, yeah, man. It's gonna be a little bit more than that, I think. Maybe so it's just, and I know it's the same way for a lot of people, right? If you want to engage with inner circle or smart follower accounts, like engage with them in a meaningful way, and then they'll follow you back. I follow people back all the time, but yeah, there's a lot of demanding going on sometimes that I see, and then I'll go search their profile for my name, and they'll have like replied once like a few hours ago, and they're like, hey, why didn't you follow me back yet? I'm like, whoa, chill, man. But I do want to get on over to Mamba. What's going on, Mamba?
Yo, what up, Smokey? I haven't talked to you in so long, bro. I think it's been since like 2023, but nice to hear your voice again. Walls, nice to meet you, man. I think we just followed each other over the last couple of days, but yeah. So I'm brand new to the whole Kaido ecosystem. Demon put me on, and so shouts out to Demon. But I'm trying to understand, right? Okay, what is the difference between emerging and inner circle, right? Because I see that there's people that are in the inner circle that have like 15 smart followers, but then there's people that have like 600 smart followers and they're still in emerging, right? That's my first question. And then second question, or second comment, I guess, I'm really enjoying this, right? Because I started doing AI spaces and been getting really into like the AI niche, and I'm like starting to dig into these upcoming projects in the AI sector or whatever, and it's cool to see like now I can actually find new projects and start talking about them before they come out, and I get points for that. But I guess just the I just want to know about the inner circle versus emerging. How does one get into the inner circle? Because I have a shit ton of smart followers, but I'm still in the emerging account. So I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Go ahead, Walls.
Yeah, good question. The right answer is nobody knows, man. It's provocative. So I did I did think that a threshold for most of the inner circle accounts would be 400 smart followers. So if you're, let's say, like you started Kaito with 300 and then you like gain some more, then at 400 you would get the inner circle badge. But I got a bunch more than 400 now, like at 450, and I still don't have any. So now we know for a fact that numbers don't matter. And we do know for a fact that it is probably the accounts that follow you that will get you that inner circle badge. I
Yo,
think the inner circle badge, first of all, is very, very limited.
can I
It might
chime
be
in?
actually like, yeah, of course.
So I think, and this is essentially just speculation as well, right? So I can't fully confirm this, but like I have the inner circle badge, and other people, like some of my friends, don't. But they have way more followers than me as well. Even with smart followers. So I was thinking, what is the difference? And I think I kind of came up with a speculation, which kind of makes sense. Um, so I noticed that some of my friends that don't have it, they're a part of 1, 2 communities, and that's their niche. They've focused on those niches. So, let's just take somebody like Azuki. Now, we all know that Azuki is like almost like a cult-like, following, cult-like, project. It's been very successful for that purpose, because it's like if you're Azuki, you become diehard Azuki. Even myself, I'm into that. So the difference is, for me in particular, I was like thinking about it, I'm like, so why the fuck do I have the inner circle badge? And I think what it is I'm a spaces host, which means I've done a fuck ton of AMAs, which means I've just basically ended up networking in so many different circles that are not even in my wallet per se. Like, um, as an example, I interviewed Luca Netz, and that was before I think I even had a little pudgy or some shit. So that kind of makes sense where it's like you're not just an Azuki, you're not just a Doodles, you're basically networked into the actual CT, the crypto Twitter of so much shit. And I think a lot of spaces hosts, we basically just open up so many doors for ourselves because we're talking to different founders and teams, people building different projects. So even like Mamba, what Mamba was saying was now he's expanding his horizons. He's like, having these discussions with people that are launching new AI projects and stuff. So I mean, if there was some sort of way to upgrade, I think you would probably, likely get that upgrade because your smart followers, what they were before you started to I guess, um, dive into AI, now those smart followers represent a different sample size. So now you have a different audience as well. So I think it's like how many different touch points of crypto Twitter do you actually have? So if you're like into just 2, 3 different projects, like you're all into, board apes and you're all into, pudgies, maybe you're just into the emerging CT. Whereas if you're into, 10, 20 different projects and shit, then you might be considered inner circle CT. I mean that's my
So
speculation.
I I just listened to the podcast with Yoo, and he talked about this. And from what he was saying, there's only like I think in the tens of thousands of people that are inner circle, and it has to do with the social graph and influence of the smart followers that follow you. So I think it has to do with like the level of influence that your smart followers have. So I think it's just some people their smart accounts just don't have as much influence as some others. So you just aren't quite there with the inner circle, but probably as you get more influential accounts that follow you, then you'll break past that and get into the inner circle. So yeah, it's
Okay.
pretty crazy to think that I don't know how many there are, maybe 10, 20,000 inner circle. But out of like, I think he said that there's like technically 20 million people on crypto Twitter in total. And there's like in the tens of thousands of people that
No.
have inner circle. But go
So
ahead,
no, that
Mamba.
makes sense. And also like obviously I stopped posting for like 4 or 5 months, and I'm pretty sure that probably has affected my. I mean, that did affect my engagement and all that. So I think that probably has something to do with it. But I'm just, like I said, I'm just getting into this Kaido thing, learning about it, and I mean, I appreciate all the answers and thank you, whatever, man, for kind of explaining that.
Cool ideas, guys. I want to just chime in. I mean, I really like both of your points, and yeah, really, really go with it. But honestly, uh, actually, no, I lost my thought, guys. Here, but what I wanted to say is that influence is probably the number one thing that matters. It doesn't really matter about the amount of smart followers that you have, but just the influence. So literally, you can have probably like 10 smart followers, but if one of two or two of them are extremely influential, you'll get that inner circle badge. And my speculation is that it doesn't have to be a user that is registered to Kaito to be considered an influential person. So let's say Elon Musk is following you, Donald Trump is following you, but not too many, let's say, crypto people are following you. My speculation is you will probably get the inner circle badge, I might be wrong just because of the like since it's called a circle, right? You have to have the different influential people around you. You can't just have like a politician, for example. But it is a speculation that if an account is big enough and influential enough, that's outside of Kaito, it probably still counts towards that.
Sorry, can I chime in for a second?
Sure, Toxic.
I just wanted to add that I don't think it's just, as you said, about the number of followers, also about how important, how influential those who follow you. And I think it's also about the amount of interactions you had with those people. Because, for example, a few days ago, I spoke with someone who has just 50 or 55 smart followers, and he still has inner circle CT, but he told me that he was very active back in 2022, 2023. And one of those guys he was always speaking with was Armani, the founder of Backpack. Other big guys like Chartfu, who's a very big in ordinal space, and other pretty big accounts. So it's not only that those people have to follow you, but they also have to interact with you. Because, yeah, sure, following someone doesn't mean you actually influence them or you have any influence over them. But if you exchange views and opinions with them regularly, then it does have a different way.
It's interesting that you
Yeah.
mentioned Backpack because I did notice quite a lot of Mad Lads PFPs having that inner circle badge, and I am suspecting there is something in there too. So Mad Lads are considered by Kaito to be a top tier collection, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I if I can chime in, I don't have inner circle badge. I have like emergency T, and now here is the fuckery. I'm, for example, getting more yaps on daily basis versus inner circle people. So having an OG inner circle badge doesn't mean that you will earn more points on daily basis. So we need to dive that part as well, and we don't know what inner circle actually give you. And I'm one of the accounts that is very active with Mad Lads. Armani following me. He reply on daily basis with me. We are still not sure what inner circle badge means and how what role will play in the future. So just to clear that up as well, I have 450 smart followers and I have around 10,000 followers on Twitter, which is all organic, no botted accounts, no nothing. I think there is something with the amount of people who follow you overall on Twitter. I think the people with 25 plus thousand followers have inner circle
Wait,
badge.
yo, I think I figured it out. I figured it out
All
actually.
right, guys. We gotta keep some decorum in this space. We gotta keep going to these hands. We're gonna end the space just here in a little bit. So let's keep going to the hands. You guys have been very patient with your hands up. Let's get on over to Demon, and then we'll get on over to Austin.
Look, what I think you guys were trying to say, if you have inner circle, you're part of the cabal. If not, you're not part of the cabal. So now you know, it's just very simple. Like, it's not rocket science. There you go. If you have inner circle, those people are part of the cabal. If you don't, well, good luck. Like, try getting in. But as someone who does have inner circle, so you're not speaking from experience. Anyways, aside from that, what Walls was saying before, like, two of the most hyped up projects on the TGE leaderboard is Eclipse and IP Story Protocol. So Eclipse actually has a crazy community. So this is like, you know, another thing I want to add on. Like, it's a little off topic, but because like we've been jumping a lot, but like when Walls was saying, I just wanted to add on to that. But like Eclipse does have a really strong NFT community after school club. Like, I actually bought in. I wanted to just see, like, you know, that, and it's a crazy community. And yeah, so that like really helped. Like, you know, I would have never known about them if it wasn't for Kaito, right? Because like, I don't know about Eclipse. I wasn't gonna go to that chain, but now I did, and then you got to meet all these people. And I think that's another thing that all of you guys should be doing as well. Network with like things and people that are like you wouldn't have previously, and that will open up doors regardless of what happens. And also Story Protocol, if you were actually paying attention to Story Protocol, you probably got the OG roll, and it's estimated that OG rolls will give you $10,000 in airdrop. So congrats if you got that. Just wanted to say that, and yeah, good luck.
Yeah, I love it, man. Yeah, I think I've heard this theme throughout the space. I think something that's really important with anything that you're doing with Kaito and engaging with these communities is build up your network. I think that is just this is one of the greatest connecting tools that we've ever seen in the space. So like really utilize that. And honestly, like look, uh, one of the best ways this is how I was really able to connect with a lot of people is just speaking on spaces. Um, Talking one on one with people, following them, getting on calls in the back end if they were into something that I was interested in. So I mean it's the same thing with this. You're going to be able to connect with people that you never would have connected with before just because of the different projects that you're looking into and community members that you're able to interact with. So really really important, like really work, like don't just worry about like getting smart followers and all that, but like really connect with people that are doing things that you are aligned with. So yeah, definitely just something super important. But let's get on over to Austin.
Man, I love it. Everybody up here makes me want to run through a brick wall. It's crazy. I listen to you guys. I just want to get up and post. But anyway, Nas, thanks for having me. Walls, I've been following you. I think we've been following each other since like 2K followers, and you're almost at 10K now. That's crazy, but real grinder. So, yeah, I just wanted to say on Demon's Point, like, I had the exact same thing with buying an NFT. I was looking to get like a Sappy seal anyway. I bought a couple, and then now every single monad post I post, and if I include Sappy Seals in it, everybody just goes crazy. It's like one of the most hyped up communities. And then that was actually my best day on Yaps ever, I think. Posted like Play Omnia is the game coming out on Monad. Posted a little bit of gameplay. Or actually, this is when I picked up the Sappy Seals, and Wobbs actually all he commented was like nice, and I think I got like 50 yaps or something crazy like that, um, which was pretty nice. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to quickly give my perspective on like a smaller account. So I only have 2.5K followers. I have like 90 smart followers. But yeah, I'm up to 312 yaps now. And I think what everybody was saying this whole time with like networking, I have 700 new followers and got approached by 3 brands as well to do some like upcoming content with them. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I was gonna say I think one thing that really helped me the most is I sit down before I create content probably for like an hour. Like everybody said, pick your niches. I didn't know that much about Monad, but I sat down, studied it probably in total, probably like 4 or 5 hours, and just started learning more about the ecosystem. Then I did like a big post on like these are the top 20 dApps that are coming to Monad. And yeah, that's I guess how I kind of started getting started in that community. And from there, I think, once you really create that valuable content, those yaps are just gonna keep rolling in. So yeah, I think I'm like top 100 for Eclipse and Monad now, and I think that's probably the content I'm gonna keep grinding the most. I would also like to say as well, looks like with the whole shadow ban stuff, that posts are probably getting more yaps than replies now. I'm not sure if other people have noticed that. I think replies was the meta, and I think that's now changing a little bit. So yeah, I got Andre that reposted, Andre from Sonic that reposted one of my Sonic posts. That one did pretty well, got like 300 likes, and I got around 15 yaps for that. But then I had some pretty big accounts reply to me, and probably like in the same day, probably like 6 or 7 accounts. And from that, I only got like zero point 0.1 yap. So it was like probably not worth the effort. It was probably worth the effort to like, you know, not actually focus on replies, but like focus on studying the content and creating like a good, valuable piece of content. So yeah, that's my one advice is yeah, everybody, it might be time to start focusing on content and not replies as much. Oh, and don't get banned. Don't spam. That spamming copy pasta, those days are over. X doesn't like that. The algo doesn't like that. You're not gonna get your content promoted, and you might get banned. And I asked Grok about that, so you can fact check me. But yeah, that's all I had to say, man. Yeah, let's keep grinding.
Thanks for coming up, Austin. Great takes. Yeah. And also, like, if you do, this is something I find super important, just to get the engagement up. If you do have a post that's really starting to cook, just try to reply to as many people as possible. Right. I mean, you don't have to do everybody, but definitely at least try to get to the ones that are replying meaningfully, and that'll really help with the engagement on that post. I mean, I see Walls do it, especially when he tags me in a post, and it's just like, just like a machine gun of replies going down. I'm like, "But my phone's going off. I'm like, oh my god, what's happening? And it's just like, oh no, Walls just did a post. But go ahead, Walls.
Yeah, for sure. I just wanted to emphasize on the reply part. I do think it is crucial for everyone, especially the smaller accounts, to always spend a lot of time replying. This is your best way to connect with people. This is your best way to for other people to notice you, especially if your goal is to grow smart followers, especially if you want to actually get noticed by the inner circle. I mean that there is no other way about it than taking your time, going through a list of people, engaging thoroughly with their posts. So you can't just like someone mentioned LFG, let's go, and that's it. You can't do that. You have to write a thorough post. They have to notice you. There's going to be a higher chance that they're going to reply to you. But the bigger thing is an influencer will start to notice you more and more until you're going to be organically in their DMs, and they're going to be essentially helping you. And it's just like a flywheel effect. If you put in the effort, if you um, put it as your goal to actually engage with as many people as possible, you will grow fast and hard. So replies are key. Although like algo changes might be happening here and there. Always make sure that replying first of all to other people on the timeline is key, and obviously replying to anybody who replies to your post is crucial for your post's growth as well.
I just want to touch on that a little bit. So just that was how I grew my account when I like getting up to like the first 10K followers, like early on. I used NFT Inspect, right? Back in the day, it was kind of like the progenitor to Kaito. Just didn't use AI, right? But so the reason why it's important to reply to large crypto accounts that get a lot of engagement is because basically what you're able to do in the benefit that you're getting is that you're getting exposure to the audience that they've spent years building up. Right. So if you put on notifications for some of the top crypto accounts that are getting a lot of yaps, and try to do it with people whose content you actually like to engage with and you're actually interested in, it shouldn't just be like a grind. Um, their audience is going to see your post first, right? And then you will just naturally be put into the algorithm for their audience and on their timeline, right? So and then double points if you're able to get them to reply to you and then follow you, right? And you'll get even more engagement on your native posts that you put out from their community. So I think this is just something that's very important to point out. Everybody's like, oh, reply, but it's like, no, like there's like a real beneficial reason for doing this, and it works. Like, it worked for me. Like, I did it early on, and I still do it. It's just, but I engage with the people that I enjoy engaging with, right? So and eventually, like, it will curate your timeline to where you don't even really have to do the notifications anymore. But let's get on over to whatever, man, Austin, and then I want to check in with one person, and then we'll close out the
Okay,
space.
yo, check it out. This is a take you guys are gonna hate me for and probably block me. So pace yourself for this one. You can't teach fucking passion, and that's why some people succeed at reply guy stuff. If you're like, who was the guy that's talked to Austin? If you're like Austin and you're replying to Andre Cronje, there's a chance that you know who the fuck he is and you're into that shit, because not everybody knows Andre Cronje. If you know Andre, you know Andre. If you know Andre, you know DeFi and you give a fuck about DeFi. So chances are you're passionate about that stuff. So obviously your replies are gonna cook because he is this like a very smart fucking dude. But here's the thing with smart people. It's hard to speak their language sometimes. So yes, that reply guy fucking retard that said, "Oh, that was a hack, that was engagement bullshit. We all fell for it. I'm glad that's done and dusted. Please never bring that bullshit back." Just like, yo, if you're really here and you're here 24/7, chances are you're passionate about something, whether it's a protocol, whether it's growing, maybe it's NFTs, or maybe you're like Loki and you just love to FUD the whole fucking space. That's your angle, that's your niche. That's great. Just lean into that shit, tear things down so you can build things up. It's okay. But passion is amazing. And passion is the reason why a lot of these reply guys do really, really well, because they're not just doing like, yo, let's fucking go, man. Yeah, you're gonna succeed. Yeah, like, what the fuck? You take somebody like Lamboland, right? As an example, one of the he's a thought leader because he actually writes intelligent stuff. You take ICO Beast as an example. ICO Beast had less followers than me a month ago before this thing started. And now everybody's like, holy fuck, this guy's shit just exploded, right? The reason why this guy exploded is he's very, very intelligent. He's an attorney. And now you could see that because he's writing the way that he probably writes his stuff in his profession. So this is all I'm saying, guys. You can't teach passion, but if you find the passion, lean into that stuff, because some of us are passionate about even making money and stuff. So even if you educate people on how to do that, trust me, those yaps will start coming because now you're just yapping about what you're passionate about. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, and the only reason I'm saying reply guiding stuff is really, really important too, is because sometimes you're such a small account that even if your writing is dope and your content is amazing, the algorithm doesn't give a fuck. So you have to actually make it give a fuck. And the only way that you do that is replying and trying to open doors, network with people. So you get from like 50 followers to a good 500. It's not easy. It's a very hard fucking grind. So, but everyone can do it. You just have to passionately do it.
Yeah, I think another thing is, like, when you're replying to people that you're actually interested in, you're learning, right? You're learning about, when you're replying to thought leaders about like topics that you enjoy, like, first of all, you're getting a good understanding of how to make content that works, right? But you're also learning quite a bit, because if you want to have an engaging reply to that person, you're going to have to read their content, right? So I think that that's something very important to think about. But let's get on over to Austin. What's going on, Austin?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to completely agree with that. I think you guys both just said exactly what I wanted to say. Like, don't sound like a bot when you're replying to an account. I swear everybody does these Gen AI replies. Like, okay, you're getting the context now. but like use some emotion in your reply. Be like, oh my god, like just use some form of emotion in your reply. Even if you do like 2 sentences, like, oh, this sounds very interesting. What do you think about this? I don't know. Like, look at OX Bread's comment section. He does like awesome, super insightful posts, but you can tell these people just copy paste it, put it into Grok, say like, give me a reply of what I can say to this, and copy and paste it. So yeah, definitely don't do that. And yeah, I just wanted to clarify, I grew my account by reply guying as well, 100%. And I think a good way of also doing it is when you create really, really insightful posts and you don't have a lot of followers, tag these big guys in these posts. A lot of people say not to, but if you actually made really good, valuable content and it's not a copy pasta, that's how I got the replies from like Wobbs and from Andre. You know, like it was actually content that I researched a lot about, and yeah, I think he also just reposted one, Andre, about someone found there was a way to long Sonic on Hyperliquid or short Sonic on Hyperliquid where you're actually making money even if you just bought the Sonic. So you have like a neutral position and you're still making money. And he posted it and he was like, this guy, this is amazing. This is exactly what I was thinking. That I looked at that guy's account. He blew up. He was big already, but he blew up. I don't even want to know how many yaps he got from that. So yeah, just wanted to say, yeah, I agree with you guys. Don't sound like a bot and you'll be good.
Love it. Also, something that I've been seeing on some of my posts, people will just reply to like a post of mine that's blown up with their Kaito referral link or a Kaito post that has nothing to do with the post that I put out. So if you do that, like I'm just blocking you. Like I don't know what the motive, like what you're thinking there, but yeah, definitely not a good strategy. Go ahead, Walls.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. So honestly, I'm not really against people shilling their other tweets via links in my replies, as long as they kind of try to provide a bit of insight and value on like what they actually wrote. And I don't know, I'm always happy to engage with people, especially if it's like a relevant tweet. You know, that's amazing. It will do numbers and it'll do nice. So I mean, not to be too spammy, but I mean, you can implement this sometimes. I really like wanted to go back to whatever man's point on your replies and the quality. I mean, honestly, like great take. What he said is alpha. Try to identify like passionate founders who actually like whose language you might actually not understand. Like what he said is actually really really true. Those guys, if you try to speak in their language with them, oh trust me, they're gonna write a whole article back to you. They're going to reply very, very thoroughly. And most likely they are inner circle, probably since they're founders of big companies. They will reply with thoughtful replies, which will most likely kind of get you yaps and stuff. And yeah, obviously the algo, the you being able to your tweets being able to show to like his audience and stuff like that. That's also all valid, but try to have your engagement and conversations on a different level. First of all, you'll learn more. You'll be able to speak like a normal human being, right? Instead of like all the LFGs you usually type out during the day. And yeah, third of all, trust me, your connections will skyrocket in terms of quality. It's not all about the number of followers, as Kaito is showing us, right? But it is about the quality of your followers. And trust me, getting the higher quality of followers will only benefit you in the future. So yeah, it's just like a win-win situation to actually focus on the quality replies with top tier people.
Awesome, man. Good take, Walls. Well, look, you guys, before we do close out the space, I do want to check on in with Prater. So Prater has been growing quite a bit and doesn't have a ton of followers, but he was able to get a lot of yaps. I just want to check in on your progress and see how you're doing. How many followers have you gained since you started using Kaito, and how many yaps are you at now?
Thanks for the introduction. Right now, I have like 255 yaps. You can check me on the Kaito leaderboard. And I have like 450 followers. And I started posting on Twitter like a month ago. Like in early January, I had like 30 followers, no posts, and I started posting on my DeFi journey, like from January, because I do a lot of DeFi research on yield farming and delta neutral trades. But I want to point out something that I saw that a lot of people missed in this space. Actually, Vitalik Buterin joined Kaito, and a lot of like big accounts starting to join Kaito. And actually, it's very bullish for Kaito and for our bags, because I saw a lot of opinions on the timeline that the competition is growing. It will be harder to get Yaps, but I think we already stacked up decent Yaps, and the more influential people join Kaito, the better will be for us and for the price of the Yap or their token. So it's a very bullish news. On my side, I did notice that Yaps are getting harder to earn. Like yesterday, I had a tweet that had 30,000 impressions, like 180 bookmarks, like a lot of CEOs liked it, and I only got like 12 Yaps, which is like not a lot. So on my side, the Yaps are starting to get harder, but it's actually okay, because the more bigger accounts join Kaito, the more influential people join, the bigger the project will be, and the bigger the price of the Yaps and Kaito will be. So yeah, I saw that people missed this news of Vitalik joining Kaito and wanted to point out and ask what you guys think about it.
No, I think that's a really good point, right? I'm sure there has been some sentiment like, oh man, Vitalik's joining, and I mean, he's like the number one in like mind share, right? Like oftentimes, and like I don't know how much he tweets, but he like barely tweets. He has the most smart followers of anyone. I think it's like 13, almost 14,000 smart followers, which is pretty crazy. Um, which just goes to show you, like, actually the amount of people that are probably smart accounts is pretty small. If Vitalik is the most and he's got like 14,000. But yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think that, you know what, these larger people joining, even if they are sucking up like quite a lot of the Yaps. I mean, I saw that the Arbitrum founder had joined as well. He was kind of he's getting into a beef, I think, with Jesse from base, and he was up there on the Yap leaderboard. Controversy does work well, especially when you're arguing about blockchains. But yeah, I definitely agree. I think some of these larger accounts do end up joining, that it will just make whatever the TGE is, it'll just open up higher, right? Because I don't know if they're going to do funding, raising, or what's going to go on, but if they do, and you see these people that are super influential joining, then it's just going to help that bull case for sure. But before we close out, let's just get to this last hand. We've got Bitwolf up here. What's going on, Bitwolf?
Hey guys, thanks for having me, and thank you guys for hosting this space. So much info, so much alpha, and so much very valuable insights. I love these spaces because I can just absorb so much info from them. I can learn from the big minds. I'm gonna get straight to the point here. I just want to add to what Austin said earlier, and I don't know if you guys know this or not, but right after Yuhu, the founder of Cairo, decided that they're going to do a shadow ban. Before that moment, there was a requirement there was a minimum requirement for smart followers that you have in order to join the platform. And right after that night, they removed that requirement. So my guess is, I think that a lot of bots, a lot of alt accounts have joined the system, and I think that their system is still adjusting. And if you guys have noticed, because I've been keeping a close eye to on the leaderboards, because I'm a big sucker for data analysis and all that stuff, charts. I've noticed that most people who have been producing really high quality content, like Walls and like everyone from the speaker section here, their numbers have been kind of flattening out from 2 days ago. I just want to say that uh, I think that the team from Cato is going to look into this, and don't stop producing high quality content. Don't get demotivated. Just keep at it. And thank you guys.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for that. Great take. And I just want to thank everybody for coming out to the space. All of the people that came out to listen. If I did not get you up onto the speaker stage, we will do our best to get you up next week. Also, thank you to the speakers that came out to make the conversation interesting. Everybody go ahead and follow all of the speakers up on the speaker panel for coming out and speaking with us today. I want to thank Walls for being the amazing co-host that he is. And we will be here same time next week, Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. I hope you all have a good day, night, morning, whatever it is, wherever you are, and we will see you next time. All right, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining, guys.